Hi guys, welcome to the day before Thanksgiving. As I promised the other day, today it's a short period and there's just going to be this brief video lesson it's a short lesson and then instructions for the work that you're going to do today. If you get all of this work done today, then you can take a nice long Thanksgiving break with nothing to worry about for English, as long as you have this work ready to go when we come back on Monday. So let's really quick run through where we've been. We started by reading the Ice Storm prose, and your job was to basically build meaning into your own poem by noticing the words and phrases that were important and kind of picking out the ones that you thought were important and then building meaning out of those by constructing your own poem out of those words and phrases. Today, what we're going to do is look at a poem that's already constructed, and our job is going to be to find meaning in another person's poem. So it's a very similar idea where we're looking for keywords and phrases, but in this case, we're going to dig a little deeper to find the meaning rather than making our own meaning. So our job today is to practice finding keywords and phrases that imply meaning within a poem. Um, so let's see how we're going to do that. We are going to be working with this poem, The Fight by John Montague. And you can find this in your OneNote. If you go to the practice work section, you'll see that there's a Unit 2, Lesson 2, The Fight assignment, and it will have 3 steps. Your job is to complete steps 1 and 2 today. You don't need to worry about step 3. And where we're starting is just looking for the implied meaning regarding eggs in this poem. So the word egg or eggs is never used in this poem, but it's pretty clear if we read it that there that the whole poem is about eggs. So what we want to do is find the words and phrases and that talk about the eggs without saying the word eggs, and then figure out what the implied meaning is about those eggs. So I'll read the poem really fast. This is The Fight by John Montague. When I found the swallow's nest under the bridge, ankle deep in the bog stream, traffic drumming overhead, I was so pleased I ran to fetch a school companion to share the nude fragility of the shells, lightly freckled with color in their cradle of feathers, twigs, earth. It was still breast warm where I curved in my hand to count them one by one into his cold palm, a kind of trophy or offering. Turning my back to scoop out the last, I heard him run down the echoing hollow of the bridge, splashing after. I bent, tangled in the bull wire at the bridge's mouth, when I saw him take and break them, one by one against a sunlit stone. For minutes we fought, standing and falling in the river's brown spate, and I would still fight, though now I can forgive. To worship or destroy beauty, that double edge of impulse I recognize by which we live, but also the bitter paradox of betraying love to harm, then lunging too late with fists to its defense. So again, this is a poem that focuses a lot on eggs, but doesn't ever use the word eggs or say that we're talking about eggs specifically. It's more implied, right? So what we want to do for this poem, at least to start off, is to figure out what, excuse me, I apologize for yawning. What are the words and phrases that are uh, about the eggs, and then what are the associated ideas that those words and phrases bring out? In other words, what is the implied meaning that those words are bringing out about the eggs? I'll give you one example, and then you'll be responsible for finding other examples in your OneNote. So the one example I'll give you is from stanza 1, and it's the two words nude fragility. So those they're talking about the eggs in that case, right? They're nude, they're naked, fragility, so naked fragileness basically is what they're talking about. And so what does that mean? Like what is that implying about the eggs? Well, I think it's implying exposure, right? When you're naked or you're nude, you're exposed to the outside world. Um, your skin is exposed, but also you're exposed to the judgment of other people, right? There's an uneasy feeling to that exposure, especially if not only you're exposed, but you're fragile. So uneasiness because you're vulnerable. If your nakedness is a state of vulnerability, you're not able to hide yourself, right? But you're also fragile, so you're vulnerable to uh, harm. And so there's a sense also of danger here in this quote. So while not saying the word eggs, we're getting all of these ideas from the way that they've been described in this little phrase, nude fragility, that all of this meaning is implied that these eggs are in danger, that we should feel uneasy, that we should be aware of their exposure and their vulnerability. Now, your job is to find at least 5 more words or phrases. Again, there's a chart in your OneNote where you can do this from the poem. There are far more than 5, so your job is to find 5 more words or phrases and then figure out what the associated ideas are that go along with those words or phrases and write them into your chart and have them ready for Monday. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Make sure that this is done first. Don't put it off till the end. Do it now, get it done, have it ready to go on Monday, and then you don't have to think at all about English until Monday morning. I'll see you then.